Who are you?
I'm Kurt Andrews. I'm the Senior Director of Human Resources at PTC. Well, PTC is a nice mix of academia and industry. As you've seen from a lot of the interviews today, we have a mix of people that came out of both big pharma, other biotechs, as well as academia. So PTC is unique in that we've been able to keep the small company culture surrounding an academic type environment, but also meld it with an industry slant to it that's very productive. We have 2 compounds right now in clinical trials. We have multiple compounds in research that look like they're going to move forward very quickly into human trials. And you don't find this type of productivity in academia, but you don't find the love of knowledge and the love of learning in industry like you do here at PTC. So it's a nice balance, and I think one of the reasons why people love coming here and why they stay here is because of that balance. We have seminars weekly on the technical aspects of what we're doing. We're working right now on a science day that is open to every employee so they can learn from each other about our science. Our clinical people, the people that are working in human trials, work very closely with the researchers, and so there's never an isolation in terms of not knowing what the rest of the company is doing. We have communication meetings once a month, and a couple times annually in terms of keeping everybody up to speed of what's happening with the company and the research. When I first got here, this was I was the 92nd employee. We had primarily probably around 60 folks in research, another 30 in clinical and other functions. When I first came here, one of the first challenges was to really build a clinical and regulatory operation that was able to start the human trial, or really get the human trials on to the next phase. That has grown from, it was 4 people when I got here, now it's close to 30 people. Then we moved on to some of the other aspects of development, like drug metabolism, toxicology, things like that are more enabling in terms of the whole clinical practice that we have. We've also continued to grow our research function. We're now close to over 100 people in research, basic research, close to 35, 40 people in general development, human clinical trials, both regulatory, clinical, toxicology, drug metabolism. And then we've expanded, obviously, all the support functions in information management, human resources, IT, facilities, finance, all the functions that have gone in. And now our next challenge is to build a commercial organization to actually sell this drug, and a manufacturing organization to manufacture it on a mass scale. So that's going to be our next growth. We've had approximately 80% growth over the last couple of years, hired approximately 100 people, almost every function here. And it's been a fantastic experience working with every function and learning what it takes to be successful in each function. And it's a unique opportunity to sell and to tell people about PTC, bring people on board, integrate them, train them, and have them be successful in their careers and be part of a successful organization. Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, you have to have the basic education background for the position. Everybody has to come here with a basic set of skills that enable them to do their job. Those are oftentimes functional. So if I'm looking for somebody in molecular biology, we obviously need a molecular biology degree. Obviously, education is key. Approximately 50% of our population is not from the U.S. We hire a tremendous amount of international people, so we have a very international population. Our population also is highly, highly educated. We have close to 70 PhDs here, and others with master's degrees or above. So we obviously look for people with advanced degrees. So you not only have that basic skill set, but then as you move into some softer skill sets in terms of communication is critical. I see individuals' careers flounder based on their inability or ability to write, or their careers grow in their ability to write and communicate effectively across different formats, writing, speaking, all the different ways to communicate. Then there's organizational skills in terms of just keeping yourself organized and prioritizing. And then there's influencing skills in terms of getting people to understand what you're doing, how you're doing it, and to move your vision forward. Oh, no, we have, like I said, we have about 180 folks total. About 110 of them are scientists with various levels of science degrees. We have probably 4 or 5 folks that are MDs, as you saw a couple, you interviewed an MD today. We have many folks with master's degrees in different of functional areas, like in information technology. I have a master's degree in human resources. There's different degrees. Every functional area has a degree program that is appropriate. Obviously, the greater the degree, it helps tremendously in terms of career growth and gives you definitely a leg up in terms of your career. But it's really coming in and being successful and doing your job well that really makes your career expand out. So, we have lots and lots of different functional areas that don't require a science degree, as you see from the interviews. As we've transitioned from a very research-centric organization to now this human trial organization that's really geared towards running clinical trials as well as the research. So it's been an additive thing. As we've added new functions, the rest of the organization kind of looks suspiciously on that function, the new function, and says, I don't know what those folks do. Then they start their work. And then now as we're growing into manufacturing and commercial, there's, obviously we're integrating those aspects of the organization too. So as we've grown and added functions and added capabilities, the rest of the organizations had to learn and catch up with those experts that come in from the outside. And integrating those people from the outside has been a challenge of ours to make sure they understand the culture and the values and what we're trying to achieve. And it's through good communication and consistency, access to management consistency that we've been able to integrate those different functions as we've added them on. Our goal is to become a very well-rounded pharmaceutical company that not only researches but develops, commercializes, and obviously sells drug to the community. I would say learn your basic skills. I think in high school you have a chance to learn basic biology, basic chemistry, and as you go further along in your education, you can narrow down further and what your interests are, but with a broad breadth of skills early on, and understanding basic biology, basic chemistry, and then and then finding that avenue where you want to head. In biology, there's dozens and dozens of different careers within the biology field. There's different careers in the chemistry field, but you won't be able to have access to those careers unless the basics are there. So there's not only a functional basics in terms of that, but also, don't forget your English classes and don't forget your basic skills classes also, because scientists who not only are technically sound, but also have good communication skills and have good skills in the enabling type environment are the ones that really work their way up through management and become very successful. So I would say build basic skills is the most important thing, and narrow your career down as you move up through. Like you heard a couple times today, going to college, you don't necessarily have to know everything that you want to do, but when you get into college, you have many things in front of you, but start narrowing down your opportunities in terms of what you're interested in, and go for it. Each summer we have some internship programs, a couple in biology, a couple in chemistry that we try to support students coming in. We can't handle too many, but we have a few. But those are great opportunities to be mentored by either a biologist or chemist that can teach you the basics, what it's like, show you the differences between what an academic lab, maybe lab at school is like, versus an industrial lab that's main purpose is to discover drugs. And we provide those opportunities to students as we can. Obviously, we try to support that as much as we can, because we realize that only through the education of people that will follow in our path will we be successful, and will we have the people available, that when we're not just 200 people, but 300 people and 400 people, we need that workforce available to us to be able to grow and to be able to continue to be successful.